Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you are all very well on this fabulous Thursday. Just let me know if you can see and hear me. I just got a couple of little errors coming up on screen saying that my connection's a little bit unstable. So we will see if we get a bit laggy today, or maybe it will sort itself out maybe over the duration of today's call. But just let me know with a yes inside the box if you can see and hear. Sounds like it's good. There is a little bit of a delay, so any conversation today and engagement, I will certainly make sure just to give you a little bit of time to answer. So if I don't say anything in between, you'll know that I'm just kind of waiting on the answers to come back in. And also, do bear with me today. I'm operating today on 3 hours sleep. Not recommended. Not recommended to anybody, right? It's I just wasn't sleeping well last night. It was kind of odd. So if my brain's a little bit foggy, if I'm saying some weird things, that's what it's down to. That's definitely what it's down to. And I know as well there'll be a lot of people kind of traveling today because obviously the US event kicks off tomorrow, Friday, and then the German event kicks off on Monday as well. So a lot of people getting excited, making the trips. A lot of people from our side getting all prepared. Some of us getting across the Atlantic. You saw Noel yesterday updating his travel log or travel vlog or blog, whatever you want to call it. So the conversation today, guys, is one of those ones that not a lot of people really want to have. Okay, and there's not too many people in terms of like a coaching or mentoring style of things who will bring this conversation up. But it's just as important, right? Sometimes we have to have nice conversations. Sometimes we have to have conversations that are a little bit less nice, let's say. So what I want to do is I'm going to share up my screen in a little second. And the conversation that we're going to have, it says it inside the title of today's stream, is all about when your critical inventory moves to exit inventory. All right. Now, if anybody is going to the events this weekend, you're going to hear a couple of other types of inventory talked about, right? So you are going to hear critical inventory. You're going to hear exit inventory. You're also going to hear pilot inventory, strategical inventory, and high value inventory. But today, I want to focus on critical inventory and exit inventory. And without getting too deep into the terminology and what they actually mean, we kind of know what critical inventory is, right? It's come into your business. There's a decision that needs to be made on it, right? Exit inventory is basically a batch of inventory that you need to get out of, right? And that could be quite a dramatic out of, because the time is the time clock has ticked, right? The time clock has ticked out. It's not like you've got any more time left. You just need to get out of it. And what I wanted to demonstrate very quickly was looking at some data points to work out, well, when does that occur, right? When does that ticking time bomb go and goes boom? And if you don't exit it, all you're really doing is hurting yourself further, right? You've had a period of pain with a particular item, and if we don't decide to pull the plug and exit it, more pain exists. So it's almost like, the ripping off of the Band-Aid. Just rip it off and be done with it, instead of agonize, prolonging the agony. All right. So Let me know, guys, if that's a good conversation for today. Not in terms of it's a good conversation, but it's a conversation that we should have, and it's a topic that we need to dig into and kind of show you how we would be looking at that and how we evaluate whether something has run its course in critical inventory. You've done everything you can. It's now become exit inventory, and it's time to pull the plug. So what I am going to do, I'm just going to have a little bit of water, and then I'm going to share up the screen, and we're going to build the sheet together. Okay? You're going to help me out today, guys, right? You're going to help me out today. And then at the end of the call, what we'll do is I'll give you the link to the sheet. So the one that we've built with some examples and different things on, you can make a copy for yourself. No point making it now until we've built it. So I'll give you the link at the very end of the call. If you do have to leave us before the end of the call, we'll put it up on screen or something like that. You catch it on the replay. So let me share my screen. And where is this? Here we go. Here we go. That looks good. I think everybody can see that. So if you can see that, just give me a C inside chat box. But I'm pretty sure everybody is good. So now, first thing we will do inside here, we will put the SKU in. Okay, so we would have a list of our SKUs down in here. I'm just going to put in some examples. ABC 1, 2, 3, GE, F 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, where does the inventory exist? All right. So this one I'm going to say is in the US. This one is in the UK. All right. Just for a little bit of an example. Now, of course, if you had some stock in both places of the same item, we would just put this in two different lines. Okay. Because some parts of the data are different. Right. So if we're looking at making this decision, guys, let me know inside the chat box, what are some of the variables that we do know that we would need to have on this sheet? Okay. Now, there are some that we know, there are some that we can work out, but everything is pretty much in the light, right? There's no variables in the dark for us, right? But let me know some data points, some variables that would be good for us to note down and maybe make some calculations off the back of. Let me see. And I know we've got a little bit of a lag, so I'll be quiet for a little bit while we see what you guys are saying. Days in stock in Amazon. Okay. Now, keep them coming, guys, by the way. That's an interesting one. We might be looking at this and saying the data is kind of past tense, right? But what we might want to be having a look at is something additional there, right? Landed cost, definitely, right? That's a definite, right? Landed cost, right? And we know that figure, okay? We know what that cost us. So that's definitely there, right? Sales price is one, right? But I would actually prefer to look at this not so much in terms of sales price. I prefer to look at it in terms of, remember, it's critical, right? What am I going to get back at the current price? What am I going to get back, right, for the sale? Okay, so I could elongate this out and take my sales price, right, my landed cost. I could take in my FBA. I could take in my referral. Oops. My FBA, my referral, these sorts of things here. Or I could just turn around and go, look, what am I getting back? RVF. Okay. RVF, because am I really that interested in what I'm getting? I'm really that interested in FBA. etc. So, Sue then says sales velocity, right? Yeah, right. So sales velocity. How many am I currently selling? Right. Total stock. Colin says in 3PL and in Amazon. Okay, so stock, and I would put this sort of together, right? So total stock, and this is stock units, right? The number of units that we have. Now we could expand this, of course, right? We could expand this, and we could say not only, but I am having a little bit of an issue with my connection, but we could have like a location, right? So this could be like 3PL, and this could be Amazon. Okay, no doubt about that. And then we can have our two different stock units. So, Mr. Murray, how's it going, sir? Are you well? Are you rested all the rest after your trip across the Atlantic? And Sue says PPC spend. Yep. So current PPC spend, right? So the current PPC spend that is in relation to these sales velocities. All right, so this sales velocity. Now, there's one other one. It used to be your favorite word, but I think it's now becoming less so. Right. So what I would have in here is not just in the sales velocity, but I would have monthly coverage, right? How long will this number of units last, right? Because I want to work out what Gatry just said, right? Storage. Okay. Now, let's take some examples here, right? So we've got this product here, okay? I'm going to make that be in 3PL, all right? And I have a landed cost on this item, $5, okay? And I'm going to get back $7.50, right? So from Amazon, they are going to give me $7.50 back every time that I make a sale, okay? Now, my sales velocity, okay? So how many am I selling inside a time period, right? Now, what time period do you think that we should use, guys? What time period do you think that we should use whenever we're looking at moving from critical to exit in terms of reporting on this, right? Because it's got to be the same across the board. So we got a level playing field of variables here, right? So what do you think it should be, right? Sales per day, per term, per week, per month, per quarter, per year, right? Colin says terms, okay. Anybody else have a little hazarding of a guess? Yes, monthly, right? Now, the reason I say don't do terms because your PPC, right, is pretty easy to do either way, right? But the storage scenario is very difficult to work out on a termly basis, right? But it doesn't really matter which way you do it, okay? Just monthly is just going to be easier, right? And you'll see this in a little second, okay? Now, if I have sales velocity and I say I am selling 5 per month, okay, and I have 100 units, all right, and my current PPC spend inside a month, right, to achieve my sales velocity, I'm not going to go too crazy here. I'm going to say $10. The example here doesn't really matter, okay? It's the formulas that we can create here, okay? Now, the monthly coverage, right? That is a formula. So that is going to be equal to how many units I've got divided by how many that I sell inside the monthly time period, right? Does that make sense, guys? Let me know, right? Let me know. Does that formula that I've just put in there make sense? Right. Let me see if I can refresh this while we're doing it. There we go. So my formula, which I said was, this will never load up, G2, the stock units, divided by F2. Okay. Gatry says yes. Noel says yes. Great stuff. If you've got any questions on it, just ask. But I'm basically saying, how many have I got? How many am I selling per month? Okay. Now, my storage, right? What would I need to work out my storage? There's an element that I don't have here, right? There's an element of this report that I do not have. And I'm going to give you a bit of a clue. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. What is it I don't have about this product to work out my storage? I also don't have my rate, right? But I could put my rate in here. That might give you a little bit of a clue as well as to what I'm missing. I'll have another drink while I'm waiting. Absolutely. Dimensions, right? Dimensions. So length, width, height, and really what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the cubic foot, right? Because most places charge by cubic foot. But if I've got it in an imperial, right? So I've got 30 centimeters, 20 centimeters, 10 centimeters. You don't necessarily need to put this in if you've got the cubic foot of a unit, right? But if you want to quickly work it out, this times this divided by a million. Is that a million? Yeah. And then CBF will equal the cubic meters times 35.31. Okay? Everybody happy with what I've just put in there? Okay? Just let me know. Everybody happy with what I've just put in? Now, what this then does for me is I can put in my storage rate. Now, if this is a 3PL, there's a lot of places charging like $1, $1.10, $1.15. So I'm going to put in $1.50. Okay? Now, my storage, right? My storage to sell out, right, is going to be equal to the cubic foot of the product multiplied by how many I have, right? Bear in mind, this is a monthly rate, so everything is monthly. So the monthly rate, the cubic foot times the units, right? Times how long I'm going to have it in stock for, times the monthly rate, right? Now, that would be the square, so I have to divide it by 2, okay, to get what my total storage is going to be, okay? Let me know with an S for storage if that formula makes sense, all right? So I'm taking the cubic foot, multiplying it by the units, multiplying by the storage rate, multiplying by the number of months that this is going to be in stock for at the current sales rate, and then dividing it by 2 so that I get the triangle of storage, okay? Because my storage will come down. It will start at its highest and it will eventually work its way down, okay? Now, I then also have a total PPC, right? Because to sell out of these units, I've got $10 a month. and I have 20 months to run this for, so my total PPC would be 200. All right. Now, actual return. Forget, right? It's gone into critical. Forget about investment. Okay, forget about investment. It's what are you getting back? Okay, what are you getting back? What's it worth to you now? Okay, so the actual return is going to be equal to what Amazon is going to send you, okay, times the number of units. All right, and let's just put that right in a bracket. It'll work itself anyway. Take away what I have to pay in storage. Take away what I have to pay in PPC. All right. Now, if that number is a negative, right? Okay, why am I dividing it by 2? Let me see if I can draw this out. Let me go on to my title slide and share this tab instead. Insert new. Sorry, I'm being this sleep is starting to catch up with me now. Insert new slide. Okay. Now I don't have my pen connected, so I'm just going to have to draw this out. So excuse the crudeness of my drawing. So we have got along the Y here, we've got quantity. Okay, so the quantity of units, and then along the bottom we have time. Okay, so we know that our quantity starts off at its highest and then eventually goes to 0 after a period of time. Okay, it goes from its highest down to a 0. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to calculate the area of the triangle. Okay, the easiest way to calculate the area of the triangle is to actually do the area of the rectangle and divide it by 2. Okay, so whenever we take this, we can create a rectangle. So calculating the rectangle is just side by length by height, okay? And then dividing that by 2 makes the triangle calculation, okay? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know if that makes sense. I shall give you a second. Cool. Okay. Now, like I said, on this sheet, right, if this actual return is negative, what do you think that signifies? Right? What do you think this signifies if the return is negative? So let me know, guys, inside the chat box. If this figure is negative, what do you think that signifies? We've got a little bit of a lag, I understand that. So who says you're not getting your full investment back? No, we've already forgotten about that, right? Gately's got it. You've lost. You are paying Amazon to make the sales, right? You're actually paying them to make the sale. And as Noel says, it's time to put a match to it, right? That means time's up. The time is up. You're going to get less back than what the sales price is. Okay? So when you see that go negative, it is destroy. It is liquidate, right? That is going to be the most profitable thing, the most profitable decision that you can make for your business, right? It sounds contrarian, but the mathematics does not lie. Okay? So when we see this, there should not be any conflict in your mind, right? It is, do you want to make less back from Amazon in a disbursement than what the sales price is? If you want that, A, you're illogical. B, keep going, right? If you want to make the most profitable way out of this, liquidate, destroy, move on, right? You've invested enough emotion into it. You've done all these different things whenever it was in critical. That has now just moved into the exit category, right? And I mean the very last part of the exit category. Sometimes you're moving stock on and you know it's in exit, right? You know it's in exit. It hasn't quite got to a minus return, right? You know, like you're advertising something, you're cutting the price, you're getting it out of there, right? But keep an eye on this, because when it goes to that stage, as the gift says there from Gately, it's kaboom time, right? It is kaboom. Lots of diesel and a match, right? Or lots of petrol and a match, whoa, right? And you're free of it, right? You're free of it, okay? Good, guys. You like it? Nice and simple. Now, the interesting bit here is at no point did we use the I column, right, in our calculations, right? See, we didn't. We were not concerned about the landed cost because it's gone, right? It's gone. Okay. So we don't need that, right? We've got everything else. And what we can do then is we put in these units and everything here, right? So from here onwards, this can come down, right? So we can just drag these formulas down. All right. We can drag our monthly down. And of course, if we do this, so what we need on here is we need the K2 to come in, but this will all come in. If you want to make this a little bit tidier, you can just sort of go 3, if you want to take away those divs, it's an easy way of doing it. And we can keep on dragging this down further down the sheet for more and more items if we want. And of course, if you need to put in multiple lines of an item, you could also kind of put in a date field for yourself so you know what's happening. So regularly revisiting this is going to make a hell of a lot of sense until such times as the clock is over. Okay? So, would you like the link? Right? I knew this was going to be super easy, super short, but it's just something that you could be working on, right? Whenever you know you've got something that's gone into critical, keep an eye on it, right? Maybe you've already made your mind up that it's gone into exit. Maybe you need to speed up that exit because it's actually making you a negative return, right? You're actually paying Amazon to do the selling for you. That doesn't make any sense. It's going to be more profitable to put a match to it, right? So let me get you this link. Where do I have that now? It's over here somewhere. And what this link should do, I say should, right? Let me just check, because I know I have a terrible habit of not turning on the share. Okay, there we go. Yeah, the share was not on. And what I can do is put this link inside the chat box. Now, while I put this on the chat box, I'm also going to put it. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I told you I was just not. I'm just not in the. I'm not in the right place today. I'm going to put the link up on the screen here. Okay. So duplicate slide. I don't want to duplicate slide. I want a new slide. And I won't do that either. There we go. Right. So for anybody watching on the replay, that is the link. And anybody live, if you could just let me know that link works, it sends you over to make a copy of that with our little formulas and things. You can that spreadsheet is super basic. You can make it look really nice. You can put all different things in, have little bows at the side, lovely colors. You can change the fonts. You can do whatever the hell you want, right? Just make sure that you're doing it, right? I don't care what format, what font you use, right? Apart from hieroglyphics, right? You can have the banners in pink or blue or green. You can have it in 24 font size, as long as you're using it, right? And here's the thing, guys, right? Here's the thing. We've got to be comfortable with, at some time now and at some time in the future, you are going to have critical inventory, right? And some of that critical inventory is going to move to exit inventory, right? It's called a hit rate. You cannot get a hit rate of 100%, right? Is it possible? Yes, it's possible, but it's unlikely, right? Not every single product that you bring into your business is going to be a home run. And the sooner that we get comfortable with that, the better, right? We got to take lots of swings at the ball, because whenever we hit it, right, we're going to hit it really well, and we're going to hit it really well for a long time, right? Especially, right, with all of the different things that are now in place, right? Think about this. Think about your all one stock, right? Well, the storage rate on that is really only to do with the Amazon stock, right? So you're able to reduce down the overall storage rate. Now, it still has a storage rate, right? Because you got to keep some at Amazon, right? But the majority of it is going to be at all one. But there is still a slight storage cost. And there may be some PPC cost. But you're giving the product even more time, right? So the ticking time bombs are going to become less and less and less. And we've got to start focusing on that time. The time when you don't need to use third-party logistics. The time when you don't need to put all of your stock into Amazon, right? And FBA, and pay those storage rates and potentially pick up some long-term fees. Okay, so it's always about focusing on what is going to be, because that is the network effect, right? That is the network effect. There's no way that Apple, for example, focused on the cost pricing of the very first prototype iPhone that they produced, right? That prototype would have cost millions, right? Tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions, right? If they were focused on that, that's what they would have charged people for the phone. They didn't. They charged $1,000 because they knew that when they went into production and in the future, they were going to be able to get that less and less and less expensive. The parts were going to become less expensive. The sales process was going to become less and less expensive. You now have that as well. And whenever we're going global, we're going to pick it up more and more and more. So, guys, thank you so much for being with me today. Thank you so much for being on me while my internet glitched, which was almost like a euphemism for myself because I feel a bit glitchy today, operating on 3 hours of sleep like an idiot. And also, guys, as we said, and inside the theme tune of this is a big part for both myself and every single person involved over at Private Label People. And I feel that every partner here feels exactly the same way. But every time I hear that tune, it's so true, right? The reason why I turned up today, instead of saying, look, I've had 3 hours sleep, I could easily cancel this and postpone it, right? I've got a really good excuse. I even had another good excuse to say, like we have an event, I'm not feeling great, but I turn up, right? You turn up. You turn up for your business, right? And I'm turning up and we're turning up because we want to be part of your symphony, right? That's the whole thing, right? We just want to be part of this, okay? We want to be part of your success. And in a weird way, it's kind of like I want to be partly responsible for it, right? Like, that may be quite like people talk about it being selfless. I look at it as being kind of selfish, right? It's like, I want to be part of it. And I know the people at PLP, they want to be part of it too. And they want to be partly responsible for it, right? And it is a badge of honor for us. I feel like it's a badge of honor for you guys as well. But being part of everybody else's symphony and being part of a symphony together, it just makes sense to me, right? And I like that, right? I like that feeling. I like being able to say that, and I like being able to say it with integrity. I like being able to say it and meaning it. Okay, guys? So thank you so much for joining me today and being part of my symphony. I will continue to be part of your symphony. And to everybody who is over in the US or making their way to the US event, safe travels. You'll get to see Mr. Murray, who's on the stream today. You'll get to see his little friend, Mr. Wavens. He'll be there. You'll get to see Esso, and you'll get to see Emily, and you'll get to see all of the other partners who are attending the event at the weekend. To everybody who is heading over to Germany on Monday, being there for Germany on Monday, you don't get to see Mr. Murray, right? You don't get to see Esso. You don't get to see Emily. You'll just have to put up with me, unfortunately. You guys drew the short straw. Mr. Wavens will be there as well. He's able to be in 2 different places at very short notice. So he'll definitely be joining me. And obviously as well, all of our other European partners will be there. So I'll probably see you floating around on Sunday night. If not, I will see you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, 15 Central European time on Monday. And yeah, that's it from me, guys. Speak with you all very, very soon. Enjoy the events.